Here we go.
That should be good. Anyways, Merry Christmas. It's been a few days since I did a live stream. There are a few reasons for that. I'll tell you when more people come in. And I can see the first viewer. Hi, I'm wondering if it's someone new or, hey, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, despite wherever you're from. Right now I'm in Vietnam, Nha Trang, so it's a little bit of the time zone disparity. Hi, Matt. Merry Christmas. Good to see you here. Someone says something, I think in French. I think it's something good. Thank you. Merry Christmas to you too. How are you doing today? I'm all right. Could be better. And no, it's not a hangover. I don't drink. So it just happened to be all those like celebration days. The last few days, I caught up a plague. So I just didn't feel good. Had to take some painkillers just to push through the day and be able to do, basic work. I still have personal trainings. Still have some one-on-one work that I do, but I didn't have any energy whatsoever for live streams. And also, I basically didn't train. I didn't train. I didn't feel very good, so I just let it be. I miss Georgia. I miss it too. Hi, Spain. Good to hear. How's Vietnam? Vietnam is great. I cannot complain. The weather is nice, and the, yesterday we were invited to a staff member Christmas party from the Red Buffalo. That's the place where I host karaoke, and it was lovely. The coastal sort of cafe, a little outside city. It's like they're building up a lot of stuff there, so it's gonna be like a resort. And there was a villa, so we had a great fun, but we wrapped it up early. Me and my husband are old people inside, so we were like, do we stay long? Do we continue? Do we go somewhere else? Like, let's go home. Let's go sleep and chill and cuddle. So basically, that was it. And day before, we had a nice Christmas dinner. Christmas is celebrated differently in different places. In some places, 24th, and some places 25th. So in Georgia, here is the thing: in post-Soviet areas, it's 6 to 7 January. Actually, nothing is better than Sakartvelo. Yeah, Sakartvelo is an amazing place. Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas to you too. Matt is a moderator. He's been here for a long time now, and he says no pet names or cat calling. Did someone call me a cat or something? Anyways, yeah, no cat calling, guys. Let's behave. We're adults. Any BS, we're just gonna kick you out from the channel. Okay, hello, hello. Santa. My husband is literally Norwegian, so Santa technically, is from Norway. So yeah, I have my one Santa at home. Anyways, let me show you. This is Vietnamese coffee. Just the coffee that got drilled from here. So there is the coffee beans inside, and There's a liquid, and this on the bottom is a condensed milk. I got hooked on Vietnamese coffee, let me tell you that. Good day from Australia. Hi. We're not very far from each other. Good day from Vietnam. Merry Christmas. Well, guys, tell me how did you spend? How did you meet the Christmas? What did you do? Was it a family gathering or it was something unique? Feel free to share. If you didn't have a chance to tell anyone else, feel free to share it here with us in the chat. Vietnamese coffee is, I think, stronger. What we use in Western, including Georgia, in the Western part is Arabica, like 100%. That is like the hardest of it. This is Robusta coffee, and I think it's stronger. And it's very good with a little sweetener like condensed milk or cream or something like that. So now I take this. Ta-da! Iced coffee. Super simple. Come to New Zealand. I would love to one day. It's a little bit of the expensive treat, but you know, one day practice MMA in Brazil. And one of the great places to practice MMA, though I'm practicing boxing. Despite me being sick, sorry, I I'm all right ish because that plague has been going on now for a few days. First 2 days sucked. Now it's a little bit better. I mean, the one codeine paracetamol, and it's kind of evens the feeling out, helps me to push through the day. I refuse to lay in bed on the Christmas and slash New Year's days. So that was my decision. Tomorrow is technically, I don't know if the gym is open, but if gym is open, it's technically boxing sparrings. So I'll try to do it. I'll try to do some sparrings and see how it goes. Just pardon me, I need to get some soft tissues. Sinloy, can I have a napkin? Oh yeah, come on. Come on. I don't know if you still can hear me, but here I am back. I'm so sorry. Hello, hello. Okay, someone is. Um, I'm just going through the chat, guys. Namaste. Good morning. Good morning to you too, guys. Um, but yeah, anyways, it's being it's about how you make it work, right? When you become an adult, there is always some outside stress here and there, work, relationships. People struggle with a lot of stuff. It's up to you how you manage. We moved to Vietnam, first of all, to get rid of the extra outside stress. This place is probably one of the best to just live and chill. And as long as you have a remote income, it's perfect. You can really focus on the long-term goals. You want to save up money, you will manage. Like we managed already in 3 months of being here. We managed to save up quite a lot of money, and we're going to keep going until we're ready to continue on our goals, like buying a property. And that's what I'm saying. And it's a beautiful place. You go 100 meters forward, and it's a coast, amazing coastal area and little islands. I was in one of those islands just the other day. I was always curious, and finally I got there. A fisherman's boat. You pay them a little bit, and they transfer you there. And it's basically a Buddhist temple island. and it felt like like I was all of a sudden I'm in another world, even though it's basically in the middle of the city. I mean, in front of the city, uh, the basically maybe like at 50 meters away from the main coast. Coffee shops, delicious food, communities, a mix, both in Vietnamese and international. Like yesterday, the Christmas party, obviously, were Vietnamese, were amazing. They get drunk so quickly, and they have like a heavy drinking culture, but they're so tiny, it doesn't take much. And also, the owners are Americans, the husband and wife, and husband is partially Vietnamese. So it's such a mix, and I don't know, I'm just saying it's a beautiful place. So one of the reasons why we moved to Vietnam at this point in our life, to get rid of all of the outside stress, so we can focus on training, getting me pro in pro boxing, save up as much money as possible, and get on to a real estate, acquire property or land, and do something with it. So it's refreshing, when you manage your life that way. So that's maybe something for you guys to be considered. And Vietnam is not the only place. There are many places in the world that are relatively cheap and relatively affordable. Today I'm not training. I'm gonna actually perform today. I have to practice a little bit my songs. I'm gonna perform in the Diamond Bay Casino. Don't ask me how that happened, but it happened. When I was hosting karaoke, this one girl approached me, and she was like, "Would you sing in that place?" And I was like, "Well, why not?" And that is first time. That's the first time. So we shall see how it goes. And tomorrow, as I said, I'll try to join the sparring sessions if the gym is open. How much money does a person need to train for a year where you are? Okay, let me try to convert it into US dollars. Approximately, in Nachang City, there are two major gyms, MMA gyms. One is Silverback MMA, and another is Nachang's Fortunet. I've been in both, and both of gyms have few branches, like 2 or 3 gyms around the city. And there's no problem if we move from one another. We've been in Silverback, and then we moved to Nachang Unite in the northern gym. We just liked it, and we liked the environment. If you take all the classes, BJJ, kickboxing, generic MMA classes, boxing classes, sparring, like all of that included, it would be, I don't remember, it was 2 point something, 2.5 million per person, which is 250 gel around approximately, which is around maybe 80 US dollars, maybe 80, 90 US dollars. But it's all classes, everything included. If you just want to go to gym, like right now, we realize because I'm focusing on boxing, there is no point for me to go BJJ or anything else. So what I do, we just take a membership just to be able to train in the gym, which is minuscule. It's like a $10 to $20. It's like a $20, and you can just train in the gym, use the bags, equipment, everything, and some weights they have. And then boxing classes, I attend whenever I have time or whenever I want to, and I can always pay extra. Like, okay, I pay like I think it's like $7 approximately just to join a single class. Obviously, it would be cheaper if I included all boxing classes. I could pay for monthly boxing included or monthly BJJ included, something like that. But it's way more affordable than I would say in the Western countries. Okay, I'm keep scrolling up, guys. I don't want to be too behind. Sorry, I'll keep the responses brief. But does your country allow your immigrants like you have been allowed in others? My country, Georgia. Oh, my Georgia is like an open. It's quite open for a lot of countries. Like visa, you have visa on the entry. Western countries, but also a lot of more maybe like a second, third world countries also have an ability. Like I've seen Cubans, I've seen South Africans in Georgia. And Georgia is also great. A lot of foreigners love Georgia, and it's a little bit more expensive now than here in Vietnam because of the artificial inflation, but otherwise Georgia is also great. So maybe my country is also worth to check. I hiked 10 miles earlier today. I'm gonna hit the back in a bit. At currently 9 p.m. This is here where I'm at. Well, Mira, great to hear that. Keep up the good work. My only excuse why I haven't trained these days, I've been walking a lot. I literally took a painkiller and just walking. A lot of walking, a lot of movement. I refuse to just, stay on the couch and do nothing just because it's Christmas and holidays. But I got plague. So yeah, it's a little bit just sometimes it's your body. You need to let it rest, let it um, beat beat the virus, beat the whatever it is, and then come back. But I think I'll manage tomorrow. Okay. You look like my former teacher. Got me emotional, man. Oh, okay. I mean, I hope. uh, I understand how it feels. It's so important. Like some people that when you're a child and you have a teacher and they say something, it follows you your entire life. I have those moments, and I think I did that to some kids. I worked with some kids, and I told them some stuff that I hope they never forget. Like and subscribe to Red Hat Diaries. Matt is saying. Someone says say places like other than Vietnam. Well, I'm from Georgia. I can tell by my nationality what is affordable. It's one Google search or AI search away for you to find out which countries are available for you and good for you. Um, Basically, whole Southeast Asia, Vietnam and Thailand are the most tourist international slash, and it depends where you go. Like for example, you go Saigon, Hanoi, it's way bigger, a little bit more expensive price. It's not like crazy difference, but it's more expensive. But it's also more opportunities. Whether in Nha Trang is like neither big nor small. It's just a perfect city for us and our lifestyle. So that is the research that kind of research you should make, not only the country but the city or the areas where you wants to go and live and move, and calculate have the affordability in consideration. Laos, we might do visa run in the Laos, so might be, I don't know, we shall see. Like Cambodia, Laos, there are certain areas there, it's just worth to check, for foreigners. So like for example, there was this one friend who was looking at German language teacher, in Cambodia. He's from Vietnam, but he was looking for someone who would go to Cambodia, but they would make from 6,000 to 7,000 US dollars per month in Cambodia, and they would have their transport. Like that would be temporary type of living, and the contract would be, I think, half a year or 1 year. But because Cambodia is so cheap, you would save up easy 5,000 out of that money like nothing, and all of a sudden you have few $1,000s saved up. So this is the kind of opportunities that might be in the Southeast Asia, like as a language teacher, or uh, I'm just encouraging you to look for yourself. What about total living expense for a year in Vietnam? Roughly, how much does one person need a year? I can tell you monthly. It's like a year you can calculate yourself, but I can tell you monthly. It's about it's so budget friendly. The lower threshold is quite low. You can live on $500 a year if you're like saving a lot, and or you're a very budget focused traveler. There are like some hostels, and there's some like room sharing, and there even in the place where we're living, it's we're paying for a little studio apartment like First one we paid was $155 a month. A month. That's the rent, and extra. Let me tell you, it was about $30 utilities. That's it. That's it. You don't do anything. And they have like it's like a boutique hotel type of place, and they have bigger apartments, and they have also smaller ones. So it's very possible to find something that's very little rent food, even if you eat outside every day. There's so many Vietnamese places. They have amazing, like delicious food, and it costs $2, $3 a meal. Fresh coconuts. So you can do it as low as $500 per month, including rent and everything else. Obviously, for the comfortable rate, at $1,000/$1,500 is like having a good apartment with a bedroom, maybe even the sea view, and groceries and slash going out in more like decent restaurants type of. Because as I said, there is a massive choice even in here in the Chang, like even right in front of me. It's closed. This place is closed now, but they have like a it's just Vietnamese lady. She starts cooking, and they have little table. Everyone is welcome. Everyone, as long as you pay, they make you and order what you want. They make you a meal. So this one is very cheap. But then I can go walk a little bit closer to center or some more expensive coffee shops, and like um, some of them is not even Vietnamese. It's like Russians and or Americans or Australians open those places, and there it's a little bit more expensive. But even there, it's not expensive. It's affordable. It's absolutely possible, and it's delicious. Every food I tried here in Vietnam is good. I didn't have a bad meal here, a single bad meal. We're neighbors, Turkey, yes, Georgia and Turkey's neighbors. But Chris, my husband, is here. My name is Diana. Yes, but you're not a fighter, a boxer. Sorry for that. Both me and Chris are having that plague. Yeah, I mean, vehicles, it's scooters are very common here. So people just buy scooters or rent scooters. And it's not like crazy. Some of my friend bought for $200 a scooter. They like bought, not rented. They bought, and well, obviously you need some petroleum. I don't even know where to get petroleum because I like we don't want to ride a scooters here. I love to order Grab or Maxim. They have those are like cab services. Uh, Including the scooters. So you can pay cheaper if you're traveling alone. There is no point ordering a car. And one of my favorite things here in Vietnam is I would order a scooter, and yeah, I'm just sitting on the back seat. And well, I trust Vietnamese drivers because they're literally born into that. They start riding scooters when they're at school or when they're teenagers, and they just know the traffic, the flow. And in the beginning, it was so tense, but then I just realized that they let each other go. They're very flowing, and that's one of my favorite things to do. And this one of the ways how I save up money. I rather do that or I walk. Nha Trang is a very walkable city as well. If you really want to, you can walk the majority of the distance. I plan to go to Canada next year. It will be a phase of my life. I mean, the best of luck to you. Scrolling and found you. Hello, hello. All thanks to the algorithm. My husband is in the chat, but he's been, yeah, he's here. You can see his late answers. Привет, дочь. Привет, mama. My mom is here. Be beauty Tbilisi. That's my mom. So, guys, say hi to my mom. I'm not wearing any socks. I'm wearing slippers. My favorite anime, um, Attack on Titan. Yeah, Chris says the same. On the absolute lowest, you can get away with 500 USD a month per person, but you will be comfortable from about 1,000 USD and above. That's correct. No, I don't know Guram Debishvili. Greetings from Wales. Hi. Hello, Miguel. Merry Christmas, guys. It's a Christmas, Christmas times. I mean, it's um, Christmas Eve was yesterday, I think. In some places it's 24th, but despite that, just Merry Christmas to all of you. Aaron Yeager. Yeah, it's like I think I had the biggest shock of watching any series or animes. The first episode and that scene when the colossal titan appears, that it was, I had some goosebumps. What's a wish from Dana Claus? Oh, I love it. I love it. I actually had a dream today. I've been dreaming vividly lately, and I don't know. I had the dream that it's a White House event, and there's Emelianenko versus Krokop, and there's like some unknown, like maybe even imaginary characters fighting, and I was like, what's that? I just had the dream today. Yes, the taxi is cheaper. I bet you regret the scooter when you get into heavy traffic. All those emissions you be smelling while you're waiting the scooter. I've been through that. I don't want to go face that again. Tuk tuk is the same. Well, tuk tuk. We tried tuk tuk in India, and it's crazy. In the chunk, however, it's never heavy traffic. Like literally never. It's still flowing, even if it's a little traffic jam. It's actually better to be on a scooter, and it's not polluted. Nachang is on the list of the cities that is quite clean air, and at the worst, it's like a medium quality because of the ocean breeze, and usually, very often, the traffic goes through the main road, which is there are few main roads, and one of the main roads is right on the coast, and it's always a fresh wind and fresh air. So, I actually like taking scooters here. It's clean. Even like, let me show you just quickly. That's the coffee shop I'm in, a Vietnamese coffee shop, and it's like lovely little chairs. But as you can see, like there's no garbage, and if there is any, sometimes after cooking and especially closer in the central areas, people clean up. So it's very clean in the Chang, and that's what I love it about here. We've been in India, and no offense, India was interesting countries. Also, if you go for spiritual practices, it's maybe one of the best places to go. But most of the places were gross. I loved it. I miss Rishikesh. So Rishikesh was nice. It was cool. It was a lot of mountains. It was Ganga River, blue, crystal blue, and I could see people were taking care of the river in that city. So Rishikesh was very nice, but it's also um, low population. Nachang is also not that many people. Original population is around 400,000 people, and tourists on the top around 500,000. I think only Russians even coming on top. So that's why it's a lot of construction here and there, and it still is not the most the biggest city. Hello, hello. Have you read the book The Art of Dreaming? No, I have not. But I guess I should. Let me screenshot it here. The best can Dana can do on White House is the winner of Harrison versus News against Shevchenko. Yeah, I mean, we shall see. We'll see. Whatever it is, people still gonna watch it, unless it's like completely like in my dream, someone that's completely unknown, which not gonna happen. They're gonna come up. They rather bring some old prodigies and old legends and make make them fight rather than just someone from the active sport at this point. So I don't know. I'm not gonna speculate too much. We'll see. Okay. My husband says 500 is everything: food, rent, electric, everything. So yeah, big difference. We're able to save by crypto and gold, whereas back home it's a very little to save at the end of the month. Yeah. Fun fact: India is more expensive, probably depending where are you based. India is a massive country, but in Mumbai, Delhi, Amritsar, maybe Rishikesh was a little bit more reasonable and it was actually nicer. Goa, like it's more expensive than here. It really is. Ah, congratulations. I like cats, so congratulations on your brand new kittens. As an half Indian, I can see the whole country hates itself. Guys have equal. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's also India is like if we think about it, India is the country of like the oldest religion and philosophy, and there's such great things coming from India. It's just there are certain things in the modern times. It's just like a little bit too much of the pollution and the anti-sanitary in a lot of places, but like it's such an interesting contrast. And to me, I actually felt very neutral and even positive attitude because of that religion, the Hindu religion. Like Hindu, Buddhism, Jainism, like those are more of the religion of the seekers. Whether in where I come from Christian country and Abrahamic religions, it's about believe having that construct and believing and not asking that many questions. So it's to me, as the Georgian is at least half Georgian. My father is Georgian. I kind of feel the same. I was like, to me, in India, it was way better vibe despite its negatives, comparing to Georgia when it comes to the attitude. Georgia is a beautiful country and has a lot of beautiful people and amazing nature, and there are a lot of positives. But I think it's when you are from a certain country or you're related to a certain country, you also see more. You can see those negatives better than others, and but the key is not to focus. Don't focus too much on that negative because it's also yes, it's there, but there are a lot of positives, and our brains tend to process negative information um, way better, way more rather than the positive. Basically, we memorize more negative than positive, so it's a conscious decision to do opposite. Okay, I'm keep scrolling up. I'm on the top of the chat. How to stop phone addiction? We'll try to cut down the phone time, and in the meantime get yourself busy with something else. Find a new hobby, training. Every time, every minute you spend away from the phone and doing something else, that you read, you learn, you create something, like you make art, you train, you socialize with people, you're already doing great. A smart lady. Thank you. Yeah, some places where you like it's yeah, it was a little bit we were a little bit like, why is it that expensive? There were some places that were quite expensive in India. Merry Christmas, Australia loves you. Merry Christmas to you too, guys. Pakistan loves me too. Okay, I appreciate it. I love you too, guys. I love you back. Everyone who loves me, I love them too. Merry Christmas to you and your family. Thank you, and same likewise to you. My husband says, "Don't spam a question like YouTuber." Ah, okay, that was the. But yeah, just general. Don't spam, please. Okay, what do we have here? Buy and read books. Cool thing about here, there are a lot of coffee shops that has books. A lot of even in a boutique hotel, there are some books, so you can just borrow and read, which is cool. Excuse me. So, how many languages have you learned? I know three languages. I learned Russian and Georgian when I was a child because of the bilingual family. And English is something that I learned later on by myself. I learned English, let me think about it. It was 2020, rather 2019 or 2020 when the pandemic hit. And the in Georgia we had a curfew like everywhere else, but it was different from country to country. And in Georgia we had quite a strict curfew at that point, and we had paid the utilities and bills from the government, including internet, and that's one thing I had: internet, unlimited. And I used a lot of YouTube, a lot of articles. I would use fitness and science-based articles to um, learn better about what I'm doing. I'm into the fitness and wellness industry, and I'm coaching people. So I took that as the main source of vocabulary. And for listening, I would use traveling vlogs and videos because that's what would excite me. I could just listen and watch those videos for hours, and I would pause. Obviously, so with subtitles, I would pause, take out the word, write it down. I had the notebook, which was called Advanced Vocabulary. That was my two advanced words in the English language, and that was quite a process. Within the 3 months, I did like a crash course, and then I got the offer to work in that studio, even though it's pandemic. But we still could work uh, if the places would meet criteria from the government, like safety. And so public gyms couldn't work, but uh, people could do personal trainings. So yeah, there were some like loopholes, and that studio was working, and it was mostly English speaking clients. So I was like, yes, of course, let me in. I gotta practice my English. And this is how it started. I made a lot of English speaking friends, and then I met my husband, who is Norwegian, but he's fluent in English. And it's I'm still learning. There's sometimes words that I'm like, oh, what's that word? But now it's very it's like how you said it. It's a massive difference between now and back then. Fun fact: I had couple friends. I still have them who from UK who we became friends before I actually learned the proper English. So I was like, I asked one of them, like, how did you even understand me? How did we communicate? Like, I cannot recall now because it's just now I know English, but how did you like understand me? And he's like, well, you went from a Borat English to a Michelle Obama English. Like, okay, that's a fair point. Stalin was born in Georgia, yes. Sorry, pardon. As I said, I'm a little bit sick, guys. Is Kyla here yet? No, not. We don't see her, but I would love to say Merry Christmas to her. Oh, hi, Mike. Hi, Diana. I hope you and Chris had a nice holiday. How many Christmas cookies a day you recommend for healthy lifestyle? 10, 20? You know what? As long as you walk, that's one thing. Try to walk a lot and move a lot and move stuff and help others. And then you can have as many cookies as you want. It's forgivable. And thank you. Matt did a PayPal donation, and sorry, Mike donated us certain amount in the PayPal. So thank you very much, Mike. And yeah, the PayPal donations are available. I'm still figuring out the proper link so it drops you directly, so you don't have to get in and do basically making it as simple as possible. But yeah, guys, all super chat donations from YouTube or PayPal, it just helps to grow channel and helps to uh, making things work better. So again, thank you very much and Merry Christmas. A lot of people in Asia surprisingly know English. I think that I can survive there without following my little sibling as the translator. Yeah, I think they do. Gen Z in Asia, they really keen on English, which makes sense. It's easier when we have one international language. People can argue what language that should be. It's not about that. It's about being able to communicate with majority of the world. I think that's what it's about. And here, that's why, as the foreigner, as the English speaker, you can have a job. If you apply to a school, you might need to go to ITLS test and just get certified. But you actually build up quite a good teaching career here in the schools, and yeah, you can do tutoring. There are a lot of possibilities for foreigners to teach English because Vietnamese, they want their kids to learn English. There are also a lot of Russian who want to improve their English, so that is also a market. Okay, keep scrolling up. Terry and Woodley collecting knockout highlights in different boxing promotions. Yeah, sad. But Tony Ferguson, have you seen him? Our boy is winning. I mean, he's full on CTE, but he's happy. So, Merry Christmas. I'm going through streams and telling people Merry Christmas until I get bored or until Christmas ends. Listen, I think that is actually a very sweet thing to do. Some people need to hear that. You will be surprised how many people don't get that much Merry Christmas wishes. So you're doing a good thing. You're from Georgia. Yes, I am. Okay, there's conversation about Andrew Tate. Well, me and Chris think that everyone who steps on the ring deserves a respect, right? That you need the guts for it. Even for the Jake Paul, it goes the same, especially against Anthony Joshua in this one. He got really beaten and he, broke his jaw and stuff. But with Andrew Tate making those excuses, like he likes to call others losers, but now he's not a loser. He's like a 40. Well, that's the thing. He said that he's 40. He's like halfway out of the game. Well, you have 40-year-old champions. You have Usyk, you have Crawford in the modern boxing. You have a lot of other active MMA slash boxing fighters who are George Foreman became, that's from the old past. George Foreman became a champion at the 45. Manny Pacquiao just fought at 46, and actually, in my opinion, he won that fight, but it was draw. So the point is, like, stop blaming it on age. He's just not that good from the very start. He's not that elite, and there is nothing wrong with that. Like, I mean, he's been doing a little bit of fighting, which is okay, but he's not that higher level. And well, the more is not good either. It's just, I mean, that's like a little bit even lower level of the mediocre boxing. That doesn't mean that I'm saying I'm better than them. I'm not even comparing myself to anyone in this case. I'm just talking as the viewer watching. There are levels to the boxing. And, well, you can watch Usyk versus Dubois at this point, or you can watch some old school boxing like Four Kings versus each other, and you can watch the Salvador Ataris versus what was this, the redhead guy. Anyways, there are like so many fights that you can watch, and that's elite boxing. And it's been proven that age is not always the factor. There've been a great comebacks at the 40 and 40 plus. So that excuse, just, yeah, I think that a lot of people just disliked it. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. My fighting record in amateur is 3 wins, 2 losses. Then I had open ring tournaments. But back then, it was 10 years ago. So back then in Georgia, there was basically no female team, even in amateur boxing. Then I retired, and I moved on with my life. I pursued coaching and, learning everything about that. Now at this point, I'm looking forward to open my professional record. So now I'm on my way. This channel, the live streams are mostly about me training, me learning new skills, me practicing new stuff, me doing sparrings. And 2026, that's the number one, the top list priority. Uh, have a first fight, maybe not even one. In the beginning, it's like you try to stack up few fights all together. So maybe if that would be 4 or 5 fights this year, will be amazing. Also the levels, you in the pro boxing, you always need that. Even if you're amateur champion, like world champion, Olympic champion, to move to professional boxing, you need to adjust to it. So it's usually you match up with a journeyman or someone who is also just moved from amateur boxing, someone who is on that level. You wouldn't get a shot against like number one contender from the very beginning, right? So that's why it makes sense to stack up first few fights, get that experience, get the group of the professional rounds and timing and pacing, strategy, style, just being comfortable on the ring, and then we shall see. I mean, my number this at this point, my goal is just to get those professional fights and see how it goes. Tate said he wanted to fight Pereira. If that fight would have taken place, it would have been first finished by Aura. Again, Andrew Tate. It's not. It hasn't been first time when Andrew Tate been a little bit hypocritical and said some stuff. But again, people say things. We say things, and we gotta remember that things might catch up to us at some point. So we gotta be careful with the statements we make. Yeah, keep scrolling up. Yeah, Mayweather. Mayweather is great. That's a good point. The age is not the biggest factor in the heavyweight classes. Yes, because the last thing that actually fades if it's maintained is that strength, that power and strength. Once you accumulate it, and if you don't let it go, if you don't, if you're not inactive completely for many years, that's one of the last things that goes. So the endurance, the cardiovascular endurance, is something, and reflexes are something that goes faster, but that pure strength and power is still there, and that is one of the important factors of the heavyweight boxing. After watching Jay Paul against Joshua, I'm low-key convinced that he can give hard time to Nate Diaz in MMA by spamming those takedowns. Miguel, you know what to say sometimes. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, Chris really does like Usyk. So do I. Usyk is a genius. Yes, smaller guy in a heavyweight that Peace masters up is incredible. Well, timing, physical preparation, good cardio, good defense. It's all combined. Merry Christmas from Texas. Yeehaw. Merry Christmas from Vietnam, from Georgian. I believe you will do well in the pro level. Appreciate it. I'll try. I'll try my best. Another reason why I'm doing it, it's not just me fighting. I want to show the a little bit of strategic approach. Ego aside, willpower is great. You need that willpower, but the in the years of my experience of learning how the biochemistry and neural chemistry works, at least for the when I worked with personal traits on that level, in the practice, there are certain things that don't work as well as it would work the other way, and that's why I'm showing my journey. I'm showing the attitude, the ups and downs, how I manage it, all that kind of stuff. And that is possible for even a regular person. You might not become a star, but you can do it. You can stack up few professional fights and actually do decent, and just prove something to your own self. But longevity is something that shouldn't be neglected in the sport. And especially if you go elite and if you go pro, that longevity needs to be um, a priority. You will get over of professional fights. Let's say you have 2 decade career or 1 decade career and you did good, okay. You had ups and downs, but then like a lot of boxers slash fighters go on the decline from their prime after a certain point. Well, the point is here that what's next? What's next? You know that your brain, even a little punches actually shake your brain in your head, and all of that accumulatively creates the foundation for a neural the brain damage and CTE, neurodegenerative diseases. That's just true. That's just the way it is. Well, how do we prevent it? How do we approach it? Hydration, one of the things. Forget about heavy sparring. Start sparring smart with good coach, good sparring partners, technical sparring where you actually learn. I think focus a lot on the defense, reaction, and the timing for the defense has to be as a separate thing as a train. Everyone can punch, not everyone can defend. So all those things, and obviously nutrition and importance of the sleep and importance of the certain type of supplementation. This is this channel. What is it about? Okay, keep scrolling up. I'm from Georgia. It's already been said. Joshua had a better takedown defense than Dricus Duplessis. Who's the best heavyweights in the UFC? Well, Shaiko's responding to that. Frank Mir, Kane, and Kane Velasquez and Overeem. Also, I still don't know how he get the title shot versus Randy Couture. Well, let's not forget Fyodor, the last emperor, Emelianenko. You have your nose broken. Not broken, but a little bit shifted or dislocated. If you look at my nostrils, I I have it a little bit shifted to this side, which is fine. It's not major. But I got that on the training. That's the years ago when the heavy sparring was the normal thing and the heavier the better. That's how I got it. Not good. Hey, watch Nate Diaz fight. Joe Rogan says he's every time Nate Diaz has good boxing. All I have seen him spamming 1-2 and marching him forward to slap his opponent. Well, boxing. Okay, there is the boxing form, and there is the timing. A fighter can have a very good timing, but not really a boxing. They might just drop their hands and have like clumsy, not very steep, accurate punches, but timing wise, they might be good. That's an interesting thing. In the boxing, you don't only have timing. It's the only timing is not enough. You need sharpness. You need every punch be polished, and those combos as well, and the reaction. And after every punch, you have a certain style of a defense, and then you use timing, right? And you develop timing as well. That's why boxing is so different. Boxing striking or boxing hands are different than MMA hands usually. The closest thing that I see is like now Topuria brothers. They have the cleanest boxing that in MMA, the closest that is to a real boxing hands. What's up? What's up? How about the kettlebell? Do you suggest it? I mean, you can train kettlebell. You can train strengths. You can do plyometrics. Kettlebell was, I think, invented actually by Pavel Tatulin, or he was at least one of the people who contributed into kettlebell invention. And Pavel Tatulin is the guy who has that a strength training protocol that I've been using. Me and Chris both been using, and it's amazing. That's the best thing, best strength oriented training. It works the best. So you can people think that they just take weights and they just do repetitions and this is how it is. But even there, it is all about the science and how it actually works, how you trigger your brain, your neural response to achieve a certain or target certain goal. In this case, according to Pavel Tatulin, it's longer rest intervals, like 30 minutes and above. It's every daily work and during like entire day work rather than just 2-3 hours in the gym. You can you do 50-60% out of the max because you don't want muscle soreness. You want just teaching your brain and creating that neural connection and develop strength as a pattern. And less than 5 repetitions. Once you can do more, then you have to stack up the weight. And it works well with pull-ups, with deeps, landmine press, pistol squats, regular squats like a farmer squat. Again, if you have a gym nearby, you can just get in, do that, come in. Not everyone can do that, though. Pull-ups and deeps is something that you can do pretty much everywhere. Any issue with the men who think they are women trying to get into matches with you? Well, obviously, fortunately, didn't experience it myself, and now it seems to be stricter, which is very good. Um, but yeah, obviously, that's nonsense. The problem with the women's sport is very interesting. So the men, and I'm talking about outside of that nonsense that men trying to compete in women's sport. Obviously, that is nonsense. But if we take like levels, so man as a gender is a representation of the peak physicality. You know, the world records in the strengths and speed, it all belongs to men, right? That's why we have a separate women category. So men are superior when it comes to the biological advantages, physical advantages. And it's very simple. You have a good testosterone. That's why, you know, they're like the doping basically focused on increasing testosterone, but also not too much. So it's very easy. The more testosterone a man has, the better they're gonna be, right? Oh, with women, if we now go down to the women's category, uh, they're different. Like there's some women who have natural higher testosterone than other women, and they're not male. What is called PTS something like it's basically um, it just sort of a disorder or something. And sometimes those girls have an issue with acne and hair, but they just produce higher testosterone. So okay, what do we do? Do we put them on block? So that's why women's category is also trickier. Um, and yeah, apart from XYZ and like you know the androgen mutation, and yeah, like those people, unfortunately, if you have XY naturally but you were developed the phenotype was developed as a woman, unfortunately, I mean, I would prioritize the majority of women's health. So these people need to be banned from the thing, even though I feel sorry for them. And those are not transgenders; those are androgens or intersex that were just there is a little bit of the biological mix that happens through the because of the mutation. But what do we do when some women have just naturally higher testosterone, right? So that factor is a little bit tricky. I'm not saying that I'm like I don't have solution myself, but women face that. And that's some women have a better muscle density. Some the growth hormone is a big factor in women too. Women actually produce more of the growth hormone than men, and that shows some good properties into a recovery and adaptation. So yeah, I mean, chemicals that we have within our bodies, the hormones are the big factors for the performance enhancement, basically. Ah, okay. So Chris is correcting me. No, Pavel introduced the kettlebell in the States. The kettlebell used to be a farming tool and was a square, and workers used to have competitions with the weights they used to work. Okay, yeah. Thank you for correcting me, babe. So yeah, that's what it is. You can always double check it yourself by researching it. I see you're still working up to slap Piotr Jan. Is the training going well? Ask Chris. We did a little bit of a little challenge. Chris was he asked me to punch as hard as he can on the guard, and I started punching like one, two, like that kind of rhythm. And well, he says I punch hard, so I think the training goes well. Merry Christmas to all of you guys. It's so wonderful to have you here. Like really, genuinely, guys, you're awesome. thank you for being here. You helped to grow this channel. Even though this video is not particular about anything, it's not about my training, nothing particular. It's just me wishing you a Merry Christmas. But it's lovely to have you, all of you here. Do estrogen play the role in the muscle gain? So far as I remember, not directly, but it's all about the cocktail and the proportion of the hormones. Men also have estrogen. There are certain levels that needs to be there to outbalance the not outbalance, but balance the testosterone. So it's quite a complicated physiological chemistry within our bodies. Who inspired you to be in MMA or boxing? At that point, I didn't have any role model. I started from karate, and I was like, I just want to be strong. I'm the oldest child in my family, and we are all girls. So I in the earlier years, I was quite masculine, not like a tomboy masculine, but more like just, I need to be strong. I need to be able to protect my sisters if needed, myself, be confident. I wanted to be confident too. So there are a lot of reasons why I started it. And then I moved to boxing. There was someone who offered me to try boxing, and after convincing me, taking some time to convince me, I agreed, and I loved it. And since then, I focused on boxing majority of the time. Though I did a little bit of BJJ, I did a little bit of the wrestling, I did a little bit of the, we would together do some meetups, and we would do some MMA training, and we would do some teach each other some stuff, light sparring, like with kickboxing, and that's how I have that awareness when it comes to MMA. But I'm not the MMA specialist. I'm not an MMA fighter myself. I'm just a person who watches MMA, specifically UFC. I don't really watch one championship or PFL at that point. I kind of follow it, but I'm watching more of the UFC events at this point. And yeah, it's just like everyone else, watching, trying to analyze it as the enthusiast, not as a specialist. But boxing is something that is I've been pursuing now, and I'm doing my best to keep getting better and better at it, and open my professional record in this year, 2026. Beautiful to connect, subscribed up, and much love and energy to your in every way. Cheers, rock on. Thank you. Cheers for you. Merry Christmas, guys. Best female boxer in UFC. I mean, technically, you can. I think Holly Holm is, because she's actually a boxer, and she's actually what was WBO or WBC? She was a welterweight champion, and she's back in boxing now. So she's the only person who held belts both in UFC and boxing, professional boxing. Has boxing increased your confidence? Well, absolutely. Not only boxing, generally training, being able to, because it's not just only throwing punches. When you learn how to control your body, sprint, lift weights, all of that combined, and you put some mind to it, and you try to be strategic about it. Yeah, it makes you more confident. It also gives you environmental awareness. When you learn a little bit of the martial arts, first thing you start understanding is you don't want to end up in certain situations, because you kind of start understanding what it takes to get into there. So it gives you a very good enhanced environmental awareness. Nobody watches PFL. I mean, Dakota Dictura is there, so I think people watch it at least for her, because of her. And Cyborg is there at this point, Chris Cyborg. Like and subscribe to Red Hat Diaries. Thank you, Matt. Matt is one of them. Matt and Miguel are moderators, so don't mess with them. Feliz Navidad. Um, Let me see the time. I still have time. I will need to practice. After that, I will practice the songs that I have prepared for tonight's performance. I'm performing in casino. I can't live stream that. All the recordings are prohibited. But it's just a good extra money for the Christmas and side hustle, and interesting. I never ever performed in the environments like casino, like in a big stage, while people are there to gamble their money. Tie hair up. Let's see. It's also, you see how what it does? It does a little trick. It raises your eyebrows a little bit. I like to keep my hair down just because it's just my face, my head is relaxed. But I like to tie it up when I train. Where are all the Christmas decorations? Okay, well, in this particular place, Christmas tree. Yeah, not that many decorations here in this coffee shop, though it's my favorite one. But here in Nachang, you have some of the coffee shops that have like all in outside and inside Christmas decor. So it's people love Christmas. I'm not sure if they celebrate Christmas as much as they do New Year. And there is also a Tet, which is Chinese New Year. I think it's in February. That is also a beautiful time. So in Asia, this period is quite a lot of celebration. I'm drinking coffee, iced coffee. You get injured anytime while training. As I said, like 10 years ago, I got my nose, my septum shifted. So it's not broken, but it's basically deformed. And that was in my training. But since then, with my new training approach with the health and longevity, I'm very cautious of my injuries. When I start feeling, especially, for example, in the joints, that's something that you start feeling. It indicates if you have a little bit of um, the shift in your joints, or there's like the tissue tension, or opposite when it's a little bit too loose up, you can feel it. You can feel that mild uncomfortable feeling. Well, this is when I stop my trainings. I just stop. That's it. Like nothing is. I rather stop the training, let it recover, and massage, fix, do some specific trainings that help to strengthen joints, and then come back and it's fine, rather than push through and all of a sudden I have the injury that I have to deal with forever. So far, that cautiousness and mindfulness helped me to stay on the track and avoid any major injuries. I'm not saying that's 100% guarantee, but it helps. Boxing sure does give you the strengths, and MMA does give you the conditioning, but the wrestling gives you both in the mutual level. But it depends on the individual interest and skills and the environment. Generally, doing boxing and wrestling, like both, gonna give you a crazy endurance, because if you take a wrestler, even though they're known for their relentless endurance, if you take a wrestler and put them in the boxing match, they're gonna die, like gonna puke out their lungs. You know why? Not because they don't have as good endurance as boxing, because it's a different type of cardio. In wrestling, it's more of the pressure. You already have high pulse, like, and you pace it at the high pulse pretty much all the time, and you have the moments when you need to apply the power, right? Like do the throw. So it's more of the usually pulling movement. You don't push that much in the wrestling. You do a pulling movement, rotation. Well, in boxing, it's opposite. You do so. All of that, the boxing cardio and muscle endurance is a little bit different. It's more of the pacing, relax, and then explosion, including in the fast twitch fibers. So, and patterns again, it's more pushing forward in boxing. In wrestling, it's more pulling. So if you put one or another, if you make boxer try to wrestle or wrestler try to box, if they didn't have any experience of the opposite sport whatsoever, they're gonna die. They're gonna feel bad. But over time, if they practice both, this is where they actually become monsters when it comes to endurance. Guys, sometimes it's not about the capacity, it's about the pattern. You might be, let's say you learn jump high. You can jump like very high, you practice that pattern. It's gonna help you to a certain extent to jump long, but on the distance, but still to maximize your potential on the distance jumping, you need to practice that exact pattern as well. So this is kind of the point what I'm trying to say. So when the people argue about, oh, this is better or that is better, well, it's two different patterns, slightly different patterns. Yeah, I'm going all the way top to the chat. Okay. Jake Paul probably knocks out and Tate under a minute. Well, between those two, I think Jake, in the boxing at least, Jake got that. Yeah. Agree. It's more like a technique matter in the end. I might super chat next time. Feel free. You're welcome. Are you a fighter? I'm a boxer. I'm from Georgia. Same country as Merab Dvalishvili and Topuria brothers. A lot of UFC fans here, so you know them. A new subscriber. Thank you. Appreciate it. I'm a Tyson fan. Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson is number one for me. Are you an MMA fan? I'm an MMA enthusiast. I watch it. And I like, my favorite thing in MMA, boxing, or any combat sport is analyzing, understanding the keys, how it works, or how to make it better, or what is the better strategy, style versus style, that kind of stuff. I'm not a specialist myself. I'm just, that's why I like to call myself enthusiast. From Georgia, as I said. Hey. Okay, the weight is experience. Thank you. Thank you for the super chat donation. That's very sweet of you. And Merry Christmas. What would you say if it were Jake Paul versus Canelo? What's your take on it? 100% would be easier because Jake Paul is slightly bigger and heavier and is on the roids, and Canelo still would outbox him, in my opinion, easy. But yeah, it wouldn't be like in AJ's situation. It was AJ had all the advantages, and it was also to show a little bit that Jake Paul is ready to take a real beating. But let's be honest, and that some of the fighters and boxers already said that, and AJ himself said as well. He basically dragged him for 5 rounds, and then he ended it. If AJ won it, he could end that in the first round. But it was about showing how courageous Jake Paul is, and he might be, taking beating from AJ even at his 30%. It's not fun, and getting a fractured jaw is not fun either. And they both made money. I just hope that stops. I hope Jake retires because for 2 reasons. I want the boxing to be boxing for real, but also I don't want him to damage himself. Like, I really don't wish that to Jake Paul. He already made money. He already made, some, maybe even brought some new eyes to boxing in this case. But longevity in health is important. So it's about knowing when to retire. My favorite UFC fighter is, out of the current ones, apart from Merab and Topurias, like as Georgian fighters. I like Alex Pereira is one of my all-time favorites. So we have Alexander Volkanovski, Dustin Poirier. He's retired, but Poirier. Um, I mean, but Gagey, Poirier, Oliveira, and Holloway. Those are just like golden boys. I mean, love them. Um, yeah, there are many. I'm just thinking of like some prominent ones, but they're like the old generation, like Fyodor Emelianenko and GSP. Demetrius Johnson, John Jones to a certain extent. I mean, there are a lot of. He's been a dirty one, but definitely one of the best fighting IQs, not only UFC but just in MMA generally. So there are many. It's hard to point out the one when there are so many. How does being knocked out feel like? Well, I can tell you, I've been knocked out through the liver shot and doesn't feel good. That one is actually painful. When you get like hit in your head, you don't really feel pain that much. It's more about you just get like that highish feeling, and you just get disoriented and black out. I mean, I haven't been knocked out like that. I had one stoppage, but they just stopped because I couldn't defend myself anymore. So I never been knocked out like clean. But through the liver shot, I couldn't get up for 5 minutes, and it was just in regular technical sparring against the guy, and he just threw some snappy apricot without even trying, and it just landed right in my liver, and I was like, I dropped flat and I was curled up in the fetus position for 5 minutes. This is how bad it was. That's why, guys, that's work on the stomach, arms, like these things feel. Head doesn't feel that much. Obviously, you want to throw the punches to the head, but if you really want to apply, if you want to make them feel pain, you gotta throw some body shots and shoulders. Arms is a good idea. Canelo does it. Rocky Marciano used to do that, and some hard punches here. It feels. Subscribed, appreciate it. Thank you. AJ fight was contracted and it kind of slightly scripted. That's how behind the scene for entertainment business goes. But when it comes to a ring in the end, but still he didn't go all out for the money. No, I think that was very easy. It's simple. They told him you can do whatever you want. The one term is you'll make it longer. You'll carry it for 5 rounds. And he's like, oh, okay. So it's basically that's it. That's the only term that seems to be that was there. I think between GSP and Mighty Mouse. I mean, Mighty Mouse was a prodigy, one of the best IQs. GSP, like I relate to GSP more, like listening to all his interviews, and he was ahead of his time when it comes to physicality, the right training. He was talking about, if you want to implement a one element into your game, new one, you need at least 6 months to gradually do that. So he was quite smart and strategic when it comes to that, and also personality wise. Like I think I feel like we're very similar with George St. Pierre, like personality wise, and that's why GSP is one of my favorites because he's very relatable to me. he was not maybe the most talented in the beginning, but the combination of the factors, the right questions that he's been asking, the that increased the his speed of and his capacity of learning and actually becoming, building himself up to the top level. Yes, in 3 years you can be elite if you train a lot. Train a lot, but also train smart. Speaking of the asking right questions, that's exactly what I'm talking about. You can train like everyone else and just train and train and train and actually get injured, and have like you make 2 steps ahead and then you do 3 backwards and then again, and you just like kind of stuck on the same place, same spot. Whether if you ask right questions and you're like, okay, what is the strategy here? Where do you want to end up? What I need to do for it? And then you ask question after question, and you build that strategy brick by brick. Then 3 years is more than enough actually to be good. I'm saying some people manage to do that. You have some rather naturally talented and um, people who have that right thinking for that specific goal, or someone who is just managed to learn quickly. I would like to see Chama versus Joan Jones. Well, that's the only thing. I mean, if Chama had the wrestling, it would be quite interesting, but I believe Jones would capitalize on that. And I'm not saying that easy. He's still got to beware Poatan's punching power and striking 100%, but uh, he improved his takedown defense, no doubt about that. But still, lack of the wrestling game is actually, it's quite extraordinary how Pereira actually went up to that top tier without an actual wrestling. Yeah, keep scrolling up, guys. Mm-hmm. And personal circle. The market like dollars a month is more or less. Regarding if you're a personal client, if you want to go to the US market, yeah, between 40 and 50, it might be a good way to start. You can always go a little bit lower, but build up your portfolio and then increase your price. Who is the longest reigning UFC lightweight champion? Actually, interesting. I don't remember that one. So please, guys, in the chat, say it. Okay, keep scrolling up. GSP had a killer takedown. Well, yeah, he before Merab broke that record, he had GSP had that record. Rose Namajunas, I guess. Yeah, she's wonderful. I liked her. I think her career went a little bit on the decline, but she was actually good. Did any artwork recently? No, but I'm actually wanting to, for a little gift for myself this Christmas / New Year, is to actually get the Canva and holder and draw something and like paint something and live stream it. I've been thinking about it for some time now, and yeah, that's what I want to do. This is just a cold green tea or something that they always serve with the coffee, and this is coffee. What's up, Red? All good. What's up to you? Merry Christmas. She's talking about per hour, not monthly. Yeah, per hour. Sorry, I forgot to clarify. I mean, considering that Brock Lesnar is a wrestler and in WWE wrestler, yes, that's he's good at wrestling more than hitting. But Brock Lesnar Prime is like an animal, the monster. Hey, thank you very much, Mr. GATR 93. Thanks for the super chat donation and Merry Christmas. Guys, when you do super chat donations, you can also ask some question. So because it pops up, I can target and respond to the question. Habib had the long reign in lightweight, but Habib actually didn't have that many title defenses. That's why I'm asking. Is it about the title defenses after you become a champion or just generally? Blossom every way in the upcoming year for your professional fights. You got this. Brace and go with the flow and get that win. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Appreciate all the support. One thing that I always lacked, and now I'm taking all the time in the world to get to that point first before fighting, is being confident in my skills, timing, defense, footwork, endurance. Those and my power, my punching power. Just generally feeling confident and comfortable on the ring and enjoying it. You know what I mean? It's possible to get there, but it comes, you acquire that through the training. Before, it would be, I felt small and I felt like, oh, someone else is better than me, which is a very wrong attitude for boxing. And you might feel fear or like adrenaline rush. That is completely fine. Everyone feels that. But it's about, when you back yourself up with that confidence that you put that work in, you did the smart and hard work, you prepared, you're fully ready for it. You can transform it into the excitement, right? So that is part of the things what I'm doing. I'm trying to work on it. I'm trying to get better at it. But thank you. All of your support is really helping. Merry Christmas. My name is Diana or Diana. In Georgian, you would say Diana. In Russian, they also Diana. But in English, I prefer Diana because it's through I. Hello, hello. Kazakhstan, hi. No spamming, guys, please. Okay, I'm all the way up in the chat. Oh, interesting. I fought in PFL for 2 years. Not a great way to make a living. A lot of guys don't make it back. Well, that's sad to hear. And well, that's another factor of you really want to fight like a full time in that sense. Just the only thing is doing like I'm a personal trainer. My primary income at this point, and I'm keep working on that even more. I created a course called Foundational Wellness Code, which is not only training but about habit building and the psychological work. So I'm pushing in that way, in that direction, because why not? That's something that I've been doing for years, and I'm willing to keep doing it, just in a better range and with a better financial gain as well, but also giving that value. So this is more of the intellectual type of work. I also create art, and maybe one day when I create more art, I can even sell it. So there are so many other ways to generate your income. And fighting, professional fighting, I'll be honest with me, that wouldn't be something that I'm like, I have to make a lot of money on. if I get to the point that people want to see me fighting and all of a sudden I get good money from each fight, okay, I'll do it for a while. But just doing it to get a little bit of pay, that's very sad. And unfortunately, a lot of fighters and a lot of organizations are being taken advantage of, and that's very sad. That's not right. You tell yourself, I'm going to do this. Yeah, with a smile. It's like, I'm going to imagine you're on the side of the ring and someone's singing, you're like, I'm gonna do this. It's like a uncanny valley type of face, like, oh, let me get on the ring. It's about also scaring off your opponent. A lot of mind games as well. Okay. Okay. Miguel says Habib had three title defenses at the par with BG Penn and Benson Henderson. Islam had four defenses, and he's the second longest reigning. Okay. Habib was inactive due to suspension, COVID, and his father's demise. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Miguel, for saying that. Your mother's name is Diana. That's sweet. Diana is in the Greek, in the Roman mythology. Diana is the goddess of the full moon and the hunting. So it's quite a powerful name. Yeah, Chris wants to see your fight. So if it's possible, tell us your name. Johnny Kiss. Okay. Thank you, Johnny. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you too. My hair, I mean, I think that's the longest I had it. And yeah, I'm growing. I'm growing my hair. It's just I had it bleached at some point, and from this point, I think it's still relatively damaged hair. And sometimes you just need to trim it off. But I like long hair. I just gonna keep growing it. We're talking fighting, training, etc. And Merry Christmas. We're just having a casual talk as well. Hi from England. Hi from Vietnam. Diana Mats. No, not something that recalls in my head. Houston, Texas here. Hi, howdy, howdy, howdy. Opinion on Andrew Tate boxing. Not the best in the world, for sure. And Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays for you too as well, guys. Hi, Diana. Lovely, beautiful name. It's such in every way you're full of fire. Don't forget yourself whenever you're feeling down, either in the fight or anything. You got this. Just breathe. Yes, that's good. Breathe. Breathing is something that is underestimated tool to moderate your anxiety. Even especially before fights when they're gonna be adrenaline rush, just let it flow, but also breathe. So with every deep exhale, you just let it outwardly. So breathing is good. Thanks for pointing it out. Yeah, I'm from Georgia. Okay, happy holidays, guys. From Georgia. I already said that. Today, no training. I didn't train these days because I'm having a plague and just didn't feel good. Tried to walk a lot and move a lot, and obviously celebrated a little bit with some friends. The Christmas, I mean. Tomorrow, though, might be. I need to find it out still, but might be the sparring day in the gym on like every Saturday. So I'll try to join. I'm not promising you. Like my lungs are like I'm not very not feeling the best with my lungs at this point, but I think it should be fine. And it's good to try to do technical sparrings in different pace differently, because sometimes you're not going to be perfect. There might be a situation you're not 100%, even the next day you have a fight and you're not feeling good. So it's also about learning how to pace it, how to find the best, the golden line that you can basically perform good. What happened with your lungs? Basically a plague. And I'm just coughing out some shit. Like now, sorry. It's nothing serious. It's just a little plague. Which is your favorite mountaineering place to go or training under? Mountain, you mean like mountaineering area? Well, back in Georgia, it would be, it's called Borjomi. And then above Borjomi, there's Bakuriani. And we would go there. I remember my training camps. That was a good elevation and good training there. Merry Christmas from called Denmark. Merry Christmas from Vietnam. I'm Georgian, but currently me and my husband are in Vietnam. Which martial arts do you practice? Boxing is the primary, but I'm watching UFC, and I practice a little bit of everything. So it's just enough to understand a little bit how it works, at least on the surface. But when it comes to the boxing striking, obviously I can break it down more. What Georgia? LOL. You sound very Eastern European. No, exactly. That Georgia, not the state, but I'm from Georgia, Tbilisi. But I also speak fluent Russian because my mother is from Crimea, so she's half Ukrainian, half Russian herself. And yeah, you can. I guess you can see now where they're coming from. Gym, I love it. I just started working out since 2 months. My current weight is 73 kg, and my new dream to become is 65 kg. Well, go ahead and go. Good for you. Also, depending, like, if you're just doing fitness and you want to be fit, there is nothing wrong actually gaining muscle mass, and don't really look at the scale that much, because when it comes to the body weight composition, you don't like it's not about the muscle density is going to give you a different weight whether you have a fat density in your body. But if you're doing for competition, if you want to get to the weight class, then yeah, 100%. Had you had your lungs checked? Yes, and I have a good lungs. I don't smoke. I don't. We're not living in the polluted area. This Nanchang city is good air to, at the worst, it becomes a medium quality air. So I think we're fine. Merry Christmas from California. Merry Christmas to you too. Are you fighting in the leagues or something? Well, not yet. 2026 is I'm going to open my professional record. Most likely in the Southeast Asia. That's the first place, because it's just convenient. I could go to Thailand. I have some friends who could help me to organize that matchup and basically help me to participate into events where I can do my pro fights. That's awesome. Boxing is very strict, practical, and MMA is about putting all the discipline together usefully. Good point. Yeah. I'm a Vietnamese as well. Oh, cool. Where are you from in Vietnam? From which part? Yeah, keep scrolling up. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to everyone. Here is Canada. Merry Christmas to Canada. Love your tattoo. I have a dragon here. It's hiding. So it's a dragon tattoo with female face. It's like the same entity. They look same direction. It's like a warrior makeup. So it's basically two different forms, but same entity. And the katana is, my tattoo master thought it would look cool with a little bit of blood on it. And this is the dragon's tail, and a lot of people think that that's a scratch or the wound, and they're like, "Oh, wait a minute, you have the," but then they see that it's a tattoo. Leto Turo versus Arman Batman Tsarukian. I mean, hope Ilya comes back soon. But that fight, I mean, Ilya been saying about moving to boxing, which okay, I understand, makes sense. Wants to make more money. Knowing Ilya's ambitions, he might actually want to get good at it, so he might even take a time off to go through the boxing camp. But before he does that, there are definitely some fights he needs to do. At least he has to fight Tsarukian, 100%. Probably Paddy Pimblet as well. And well, if Islam versus Taporia happens, that that would be cool. What time is it? It is 1:33 p.m. So it's 10:30 p.m. Christmas Day. You're probably from Europe. Happy holidays to you and your families, guys, as well. How many miles do you run every other day when you're training for a fight? I don't run miles, I sprint. Do interval sprinting, interval, longer intervals, shorter intervals, and that's the cardio I'm doing. I'm not running miles and miles and miles. That's, again, it's comparing, not like if you don't do nothing versus you run some miles, obviously that increases your VO2 max to a certain extent and builds up your cardiovascular endurance to a certain extent. But now later studies, and well, not, it's actually been a while around now, show that for combat sports where it's explosion pacing, the best cardio is the similar, that replicates that similar pattern, which is shorter intervals, like under a minute, or longer intervals, 2 3 minutes, and you have interval cardios, whether it's running or the bicycle, spinning bike, whether it's sprints outdoors or it is the burnouts on the boxing bag. You do like a hard burnout. This is the type of cardio you want to do, and you also spare your knees and your joints, which is good. You need your knees healthy for to be able to move good on your feet, and for longevity as well. You don't want to hurt your knees. Unfortunately, that's what happens with distance runners. They, and ultra marathon, triathlon performers, they basically wear their joints off earlier in their lives, and by the time like their late 20s 30s, they're like already have arthritis and arthrosis, which is, you want to avoid those. Yes, we all know Brock Lesnar. I'm subscribing. Thank you. Appreciate it. It's 1:33 in America. Yeah, it's exactly 12-hour difference. So it's just your time, it's AM. Okay, I'm keep scrolling up. I think I'm up all the way up in the chat. How do you feel about Ronda Rousey? Woman wants to fight and be best fight in the boxing ring. Well, Ronda is elite level of in judo, but Ronda's boxing is not good, and I've seen her start training again, and good for her. I'm happy that she's overcame that, unpleasant. There were some issues, like she didn't want to train after all the clash on her, but it's a little bit on her as well. I mean, having an arrogant attitude and blaming everyone else for how they for failing you or that kind of stuff, that's a little bit, I mean, people not gonna react to it positively. Um, but realistically, she's not a good boxer. She's elite judoka, so. Who are your favorite boxer and favorite UFC fighter? That question. I mean, there's hard to say single one. Okay, I'll take apart from Georgians. Okay, like not including Merab and Tapurias. Alex Pereira, UFC. Current ones, not all time. Current all time, possibly GSP and Demetrius Johnson. And in boxing, Tyson, Roy Jones Jr., Bernard Hopkins, Floyd Patterson. Floyd Patterson, like personal, also one of my favorite ones. Is like was a great champion, and Pac-Man, Manny Pacquiao, and there are many others. Okay, guys, there are like many others. The list goes on and on and on. It's just too long. Hi, Indonesia. I'm currently in Vietnam, but I'm from Georgia. Oh, Ohio. Well, Georgia, not the state. Georgia, the country. Tbilisi. That's Rashta Sochi. Hi, Merry Christmas. Siberia. Merry Christmas to you too. Sweden. Merry Christmas. I mean, it's quite international um, chat here, guys. Who do you like more, Conor McGregor or Habib more as the person and the fighter? I mean, Connor, when he was upcoming, I think his story was captivating and he seemed to be a nice, humble guy. Then the fame got to his head. So, yeah, I would put Habib. Yeah, I prefer Habib. You forgot Floyd Mayweather. I said the list goes on and on and on. Mayweather, like he's not my personal favorite, not boxing wise. He's the defensive style, and Phil Shell, he's one of the best defensive boxers of all time. And Pretty Boy Floyd was a good knockout artist too. So he's definitely great athlete, great businessman, and just personality wise. Like I would always pick Manny Pacquiao against Floyd Mayweather, even though the Pac-Man lost to Floyd. Um, but yeah, there's so many guys. There's so many, so many great boxers. It's just really hard to pick ones because someone's always gonna point out others, and you're like, yeah, well, I like that one too. And also there, oh, I missed Triple G and Canelo and Lomachenko, for example. Like Lomachenko style is something that I've been practicing a lot, like footwork wise and a lot of shifts. And there is always something that you like different boxers rather for the story or for the style or for the certain element they're doing on the ring or for their the microphone abilities or all of that together. How long have you been live streaming? Almost 2 hours now. I'm not from Ireland. I'm from Georgia. Sorry, guys. Boxing is a good sport. It's always amazing to watch this art, but it will never work in real street fights. Yes and no. Most of the fights start and end with the 1-2 punchers, like and knockout. It actually does most of the fights. But if it goes past that, guys, there is a weapons, there's knives, there's guns, there are 5 people against 1 person. Street fights are dirty. But saying that boxing doesn't work in a street fight, considering that most of the fights start and end with not the leg kick, not the wrestling movement, but we want to punch, says a lot. Uh, Hi Greece, Merry Christmas. You must have CTE, not saying John Jones for UFC and Floyd Mayweather for boxing. Well, you asked me my favorite, not the like generally the best. John Jones arguably is one of the best, and Floyd Mayweather is also arguably one of the best. But if you compare, for example, Rocky Marciano versus Floyd Mayweather's record being way more handipicked than Rocky Marciano's record. And you have many other boxers. So I think if you pick, and in the John Jones, well, there is Demetrius Johnson, who was equally as good. He just like a flyweight, which is maybe less entertaining. And Alex Pereira, I said Alex Pereira is the current fighter. John Jones is retired, as you can see at this point. So you can have your opinion. I can have my opinion. We can agree to disagree. But yeah, let's not call names. My awesome Dan, my favorite UFC fighter, DG. So technical, Ilya, textbook boxing. Jones guy is nuts but hella talented, and Piotr Jan. Piotr Jan is like a robot in a good sense of way. Like one of my friends said that if you take a person, a fighter, take away all their emotions, full focus, skill focus, he actually picked GSP and Piotr Jan as like two fighters in his opinion who are like that. You know, they're just turn off their emotions completely, yeah, which is quite a good point. Bivol power. Bivol is I like Bivol a lot. His boxing style is like so flowing. Good, amazing footwork, very endurance footwork, and his personality. Personality-wise, Bivol is also like one of the top list. Actually, quite excited. I mean, I hope Bivol versus Better BF3 happens in this year. Yeah, my husband says a quick 1-2 combo has stopped many fights in the second, so definitely not useless in the real street fights at all. Why Conor McGregor is never in the GOAT talks? Probably because of the a decline from the peak. Um, Also, to be a GOAT, it depends what is the definition. There's objectively being like, you know, as a fighter, having achievements or being undefeated or having very few losses or having losses like GSP, you know, the ones that he avenged essentially and, you know, kind of put a dot on it. But also personality that like that's why people like um, that's why I like GSP, for example. And to me, GSP is a GOAT combined with his personality, his record, his losses, and then on the second shot, his wins. There is still questions like he retired for 4 years and he came back, fought Bisping in the middleweight, and retired again. So I understand people might have questions regarding that, but it is what it is. You know, the point is that combined, to me, he's a GOAT. John Jones objectively is also a GOAT. Conor McGregor can be a GOAT in his right. He's definitely like Irish. He's an Island's GOAT as well, greatest of all time. But then that status can be stripped, so-called by fans and by people, just because, you know, certain lifestyle choices. Oh, Lennox Lewis, yes. Kronk gym fighter, Lennox Lewis. Yeah, that's uh, Tommy Thorns, Lennox Lewis. There are many others, actually, many other prominent Miguel Cotto, who were like a simple foundations, good timing, and powerful punches, powerful jabs, powerful punches, and good distance work. But more recently, Crawford and Bivol. I mean, Crawford is probably one of the best boxing actors, not all of the only modern era, but all time. The guy is so fluid. He can he just changes the style and shifts the pace and the stances, and adapts himself to any opponent. And Bivol has that relentless high pace and uh, timing and bouncing, and he just imposes it, and he doesn't get tired, meaning that he can push that through. Yeah, nearly any martial arts has punches. To claim a punch is a fight is boxing is delusional, as saying Muay Thai is Taekwondo. Well, kind of yes or no. Okay, if you put Muay Thai fighter, take a Muay Thai fighter or a kickboxing fighter, and put them into a boxing match when they just throw hands. What is called? It's boxing. That's what I'm talking about. It's not Muay Thai calling Taekwondo. If you put a Muay Thai in the Taekwondo fight, it's like that specific movement is gonna be, yeah, it's gonna be Taekwondo, but it's not. Boxing is boxing, but hand punches. It's basically a boxing within another martial arts. We can argue about that one, but as I said, my point to support it is if you put any MMA, Muay Thai, kickboxer into boxing rules. If it's Nate Diaz fighting boxing, what it becomes, it's boxing. What is he being? What does he become while doing it? He becomes a boxer in that moment. So it's actually originally it is a boxing. If it's just hands, all of a sudden, if you add up the elbow, if it's like boom, throwing elbow and knocking out someone with an elbow, guess where do we have elbows? In Muay Thai. Muay Thai MMA. So you can call it Muay Thai MMA element, which is, well, technically it's Muay Thai, and then it was ingrained in the MMA. Mm. Yeah, Tyson Fury. Yes, Stewart has also been training Tyson for his last few fights. Yeah, it's actually, yeah, it's sad. He was also a great commentator, very good commentator, and yeah, probably one of the best boxing coaches. Merry Christmas. Clarissa is the greatest woman of all time. Yeah, I mean, by her achievements, yes, you can definitely call that. My personal favorite is Katie Taylor, though, and Caroline Dubois at this point, and in the past, Anne Wolf. As you can see, I like knockout artists. Bivol Usyk and Beterbiev said Crawford was their pound for pound number one in the last 5 months in several interviews. Yes, they did, and I agree. Because again, IQ wise, there is one thing where you can adapt your style or you can push your style because of the endurance, good timing, all that. Well, what do you become when you actually shapeshift? Well, you can change the style because you accumulated many different aspects or different styles, and you can adapt. You can do close distance well, and you can do different stances, and you can switch stances right in the middle of the combo or applying the combo. That's what, and do that in the perfect timing. Yeah, Crawford is definitely a chess player. Yes, no, thanks for pointing, Marvin. I always say four kings shortly: Thorns, Hagler, Duran, and Sugar Ray. those four, because they were great. But Marvin Hagler, he, the problem with him was that he wasn't a good talker. He couldn't talk, but man, that man was tough. Yeah, he used a lot of gazelle punches. He would like all of a sudden boom jump in, uppercut, hooks, very powerful. Where are you from? I'm from Vietnam. Merry Christmas. And the subject is it was just a regular life, but well, we always end up talking about MMA or boxing. So here we are. That's how Holly Holm beat the Ronda Rousey. Ronda tried to box when she's not a boxer. Yes, that's a good point. Deontay Wilder. Wilder's a knockout artist. Wilder, I have a huge respect for Wilder as well, for his story as well. He went to box, so far as I know, for to support his disabled daughter, and that's very honorable thing to do for a man, and like as a single father especially. Hagler wasn't the hardest puncher, but he was definitely the best boxer. Well, I can put Hagler on the harder punches rather than not. Like he definitely was punching hard. To me, out of those four, still, I mean, they were still amazing. Four of them were amazing, but Ray Leonard, I think, was kind of the good balance of all the. He was endurance. He was explosive, even when he was tired. He had a good technique, and well, he was meant to be a second Muhammad Ali, like an ex Muhammad Ali, something like that at that period. So. I mean, it's always hard for me to pick one of out of the four of them. Sugar Ray is just, I'm saying, is probably was the most well-rounded, but all of them were unique and amazing. Kearns was a harder punch in the Hagler, like every Kronk gym members, and he was also like he knew how to execute the like a long distance very well, like this 1-2 steep punches. That was actually due to technique, because usually longer boxers like that, they're not they just try to jab you and like work. They're usually not as hard punchers, but in so in uh, yeah, in Hearn's case it wasn't the case. Okay, keep scrolling up. George Foreman was a harder puncher. Well, he was a heavyweight too, and he was a big heavyweight. um Leonard beating Hagler is like saying Triple G versus Canelo won is draw, but everyone knows Triple G won. It's a good point. Actually, a good comparison. My favorite movie, the Shawshank Redemption, I would say. Sending love from Florida. Hi guys, and well, Merry Christmas to you, Florida. Um, Well, guys, I have maybe a few more minutes, and I have to wrap it up. Have to prepare for my later performance, and tomorrow we'll try to join the sparring session. So basically, just continuing with the regular routine, trying to feel better after the plague, pushing through. So that's this, and Merry Christmas. My husband says, Ilya, yeah, he's out for a while because of a woman. Be careful, guys. Many great men has been brought down by a woman. Yeah, good woman can uh, be the best support, and also can destroy your life. That's true. Can go other way too. That's why partnerships, like a strong, good partnership, marriage is so important to be taken seriously. Like me and my husband are best friends. We realize the full responsibility, and it's not only about emotions. It's about building something together, and you're gonna feel differently. And it guys, you can create the foundation for you to be able to feel or one way or another. Like even with that concept of, oh, I just feel. No, you can't. You are actually in control of it. You just need to. Okay, you feel depressed. Well, if you go for a walk, get some sunlight in, and do a couple sprints, all of a sudden you're not feeling depressed anymore. And it's not your partner's problem. It's not because of them. It's just your body wasn't in a good place. So, with a little bit of knowledge and responsibility and accountability, and picking right people in your life, it's more consistent. And that consistency and that sustainability has to be your choice, and both of your choice. Especially when you have kids, guys, both men and women need to realize, okay, let's say it didn't work. You're still a family. Guess why? Guess what? Because you have a child. That child needs to see that you're a family, even if you're divorced. You still need to be friendly. You need to support each other. You need to be kind of on each other's side when it comes to the things like success. Like that their daughter going to grow up and see that, okay, because of the situation, maybe her father lost the belt, and let's say he would want to go on the downhill after that situation. Like setting up your spouse or former spouse just because of your personal disagreements and money stuff, that's petty. Howdy, Texas. God bless you and your family. God bless you and your family too, and all of you guys. uh 3 years now. Yeah, and it's not only happily married, it's also um just being great. It's being great because we're at the place, we chose to be at the place in Vietnam, that where we can save up money, where we every day, every month we do, we get closer towards our goals. We train, we have fun together, we just love being around each other. When routine becomes sustainable and nice and peaceful, it's great. That's the happiness to me. I don't know what other people think about it. For me, the peace and the harmony, and being able to create some, like, create the things over time, and contribute a little bit of, like, do something for it daily. That's the definition of happiness for me. Yeah, I mean, Connor, this situation again, they kind of make it work the way they are, but the best thing is not to poke the bear too much, from both sides. One of the things when you're a spouses and you made a choice to be together is also things might happen, and you need to be open to communicate and figuring things out instead of just running away. But at the same time, be respectful to your spouse. Like, that showing up, cheating around, and doing it publicly, like partying out there, and then it's like next day it's on the news. That's not the way how you respect your spouse, right? And it goes both ways. I guess that's something that some people forget. Men do forget sometimes about that, but essentially it's like everything in a life, it's about balance. It's actually fighting that, or be close to that golden line, to make things sustainable. So I don't know. It's like different people make it work differently. I'm just sharing how we do that. Wish you a very happy marriage life. I appreciate it. Thank you. It's up to us. We create it. We gotta take that responsibility, and then everything's gonna be fine. And you can do that too. Players should not accept Lila's challenge. Well, Lila is also like, how old is she? 48. Would be interesting to see her comeback, but that's an age. Cost of living for months in Vietnam, we pay like $200 a month for for the rent, and then, as I said, you can go as low as total $500 budget with food and utilities and the rent included. But if you want to go comfortable per person, obviously, you go $1,000 per month, including everything and above. That means you can go out and eat. You can enjoy some of the activities and that kind of stuff. Merry Christmas. Just try to be good to one another. That's one of the keys. That's true. Cherish and appreciate each other. 100 a month is nice, and we're talking about nice small studio. You can go a little bit higher than that. You can go 300, $400, and you get like a maybe even sea view apartment. Well, depending on the location. Happy holidays to you too. We're married almost for 30 years. Wow, that's amazing. And I hope it's a good marriage. I'm from Georgia, Georgia, Tbilisi. Uh, 3 months, 90 days is like a regular visa. There are some work visas, and I think we can apply for residency, but it's a little bit of the bureaucracy for us. And a lot of people leave that way. They just live here for years by doing the visa runs every 3 months. It's not as bad. There are even some services where you can just pay, and they will transfer you to Cambodian border, prepare your documents, and you come back. So it happens within 24 hours. So that is also possible. I'm Georgian, but Chris is Norwegian. Hello, forgive me, I can ask if possible to my own channel and make 500 months. I mean, it takes time to get there, but it's not impossible, that's for sure. But okay, guys, now I gotta wrap it up. I appreciate all of you being here. Thank you very much. Merry Christmas to you again. Enjoy your holidays. Um, I'll try to live stream more, um, possibly tomorrow. And well, the New Year's coming up. Let's have a great wishes for all of us. Being able to achieve some of our goals in 2026. I'm looking forward to open my professional boxing record, and I'm excited to show all of that to you guys. Thank you very much for being here. Merry Christmas. Have a good day or good night, depending where you're from around the globe. And I see you in the next one. Ciao.